Hello. Hi, everybody.
Hi. So people have been asking for carnivore canning videos, and I just am tired of editing. I'm no good at it. So I thought,
Aren't we all, Cammie? Aren't we all?
I'm not going to be making independent movies anytime soon. So I thought I would just do a little live stream, and I bought some pork loins today, and my family are at soccer practice. So I have some time, and I thought I would go ahead and do this. And I've invited Christy from Meeting Wellness to join me because my hands will be covered in pork, and I won't be able to, if anybody joins us, I won't be able to check comments and answer questions and chit chat about canning. So, Christy, if you have any questions, please let me know. But I'm just going to kind of get my pork loins out here.
Awesome. Okay, while she's doing that, yeah, I got the coolest email, and it was, "Hey, are you busy? I'm going live right now." That was literally 20 minutes ago, and I was like, "I'm a teacher on spring break. Heck no, I'm not busy, and yes, I will come can with you."
Awesome.
I don't know how to can anything, but I'm so excited for this. I've been watching Cammie's channel, and I want to learn how to can. I've been buying my own stuff for my own kind of carnivore pantry, but just, from the store. Like, that's as far as I've gone with that. So yeah, you guys feel free to put your questions about canning, and I will read them. I don't have the power to like pop them up on the screen because I'm the guest on the show. Maybe in the future we could do it from my StreamYard account, Cammie, and then that way, because you're not controlling anything anyway, and you could still stream it. Sorry, we're talking shop right in front of you all, but that would have been a good plan because I can't click stuff, but I can sit here and engage with you guys.
You just sit there and look pretty, right?
There we go.
So Christy is also going to tell me, like, if I am not, if I'm not being heard well, or if you need to move the camera to see what I'm doing, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. I will do that. So nice to see you, Jay. Oh, I went to go pop it up. I can't pop it up, Jay, but hi, Jay. And Ellie's here too. Hi, Ellie. Nice to see you. Yes, if we do this again, we have figured out a solve. Too bad I did it after we went live.
Yes.
All good.
Okay. So
tell us about this pork loin.
This is like a 2-foot pork loin, and there were 2 of them. My husband already cut one up and had a little bit. So this is $2.49 a pound at our local Don Leo's grocery store, and I love Don Leo's. So this total price is $25.
Okay.
The other one was like $21. And what he didn't eat is chopped up right here. Okay. So I'm just going to cut them into cubes, put them in jars, and show you how to pressure can them. So this won't take very long. It's really quick, and you have shelf-stable food really quickly. And
how long will it last?
I mean, it'll last years.
Wow.
Years. Wow. For 2 to 3 hours of, I'm going to be standing here cutting and loading for 1 to 2 hours, maybe. But they'll last for years. So it's a really good return on investment. And when I was a kid, I was so squeamish about meat that just knowing there was a raw piece of meat in the kitchen, I wouldn't want to go in the kitchen.
Whoa.
And here I am, like, touching and dripping. And it's just a completely different thing. So first thing I'm going to do is see if this tough stuff on top, if I can cut that off. Because that's not going to can super great. If it's like silver skin or... But I don't want to take meat off, so... I think I got some meat in there, but I will throw that at the dogs.
Ellie says, is the pressure cooker an application or does it go on the stove?
This is my pressure canner.
Okay.
And a pressure canner and a pressure cooker are different. I don't know exactly what the differences are, but you should not can in a pressure cooker.
Okay.
I don't know why.
She meant appliance. She meant appliance, not she's laughing. Yes,
Well,
it's an app on your phone, Ellie. You just hit
I
the
know. I'm like,
button.
what
She
word?
meant appliance. So is it a separate, like with its own plug and stuff? That pressure canner?
Yeah, it's got all the
Okay.
plugs. I'll take the camera over there and show you everything.
Cool.
So right now, I'm just trying to get these into cubes because that's the shape that I want them in my jars. So for very cheap, you buy the least prepared meat that you can, and it's cheaper because the butchers didn't do as much with it. And then I can cut it in whatever sizes that I want. And if I was not carnivore, I would probably mix this with potatoes and celery and onions and garlic and make a really delicious stew. But I am carnivore, so I don't have to. I can just make meat, which is very exciting.
Once you can it, will it have its own liquid, and then will you eat it just kind of like a soup or a stew?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll just pour it in a pan and cook it as long as I want to. So I'll pack this in the jars, and you'll be with me, and I will fill it with water.
Okay.
And to the right height so that everything seals up nice. Oh, see, this is nice. It's falling apart. But even if this was a bit tough, it's going to cook at 240 degrees for 90 minutes. So nothing can stay tough under those conditions.
So the pressure canner is also cooking the meat?
Yeah. So the reason you need it under pressure is because to kill botulism, you have to get hot enough. And boiling water is what, 210 or 212, I think?
212.
212. So in order for me at home here to get to 240 degrees, you have to add pressure, which makes it hotter.
Yes.
So suddenly you're going from 212 up to 240. You're killing the botulism bacteria, and then your food is safe. You're removing oxygen. You're killing all the bacteria. It's sealed off. So as long as your lids seal, your food will be safe because there's nothing in there that can go bad.
Okay.
Over time, it does degrade, but you can eat this for years and years and years. Fresh is better. So the best place to store your food is in the field, right?
Yeah.
That's
absolutely.
number one.
Right.
Number two is probably in the freezer, but this is number three because we don't have endless amounts of freezer. And it's so convenient to pull one of these off the shelf and just pour it in a pan and have a meal. It makes being carnivore doable. Because sometimes even we superhuman carnivores get tired. And we just want to eat something right now.
Yes.
We do.
Yes.
And
I'm teasing you. I was feeling like that when I was sick. I missed Thursday's live stream with Nia. Nia's here, by the way, Cammie. She popped in. So I'm so glad, Nia, because I know this was something you guys were talking about on Thursday. But yeah, I got sick and I had a fever and stuff, and I didn't lose my appetite, but I was so wiped out that I just didn't even want to cook a burger patty. Like that's how little energy I had. And so yeah, no, I was teasing. I for sure feel that on long days of teaching or whatever it might be. It would be nice to just have something that I could just open and eat like that.
You know what? I want Ellie and Nia to be on there talking with you while I do this.
Hi, Ellie and Nia. Put some comments in and we can talk.
Or can I just add them?
If they're with you, they're both eating dinner.
Oh, okay. Bummer.
Nia and Ellie are happy to be here learning canning
Okay.
today. I'm happy to be here learning canning today because I'm intimidated, Cammie. You're going to unintimidate this for me. It's intimidating.
I mean, I'm just cutting, right? This part,
right?
If you break it down to each of the parts,
okay,
no single part is any more difficult than making any dinner you've ever made.
Okay, well, I can make dinner, so
right. It's just putting it all together that feels intimidating.
Yes,
and feeling like we're gonna die.
I think
incorrect.
Like, I know if you can it correctly, it's 100% safe. I would be so nervous that I did something wrong, that it really wasn't sealed, that I don't know. That would make me nervous. So how can you tell when
you know when it's not sealed? You know when it's not sealed because when you pick up the lid, it just comes right off. So I have had stuff that's been on my shelf. It looks totally fine, but I go to pull the lid off and it comes off really easy.
Okay.
And you're like, it looks okay, but it's not worth the risk.
Right.
So I just throw that out.
Throw that away.
You call that, like operating cost.
Mm-hmm.
Because hopefully you got everything else really cheap and the jars are all paid for and you just take the hit so no one dies.
Right. Yeah. It's not, or goes to the hospital or spends 3 days in the bathroom. Like, none of that's worth it.
Right.
Ellie says she's tempted, but maybe when the kids are in bed in about 40 minutes. So if we're still going, which I think we will be, you said it's going to take an hour.
I mean, and yeah.
Sweet. Let us know, Ellie. We're here. I'm just hanging out with Cammie in her kitchen. So I have a question about the jar. So I do use jars just because they're convenient to store my bone broth, but they're not like pressurized or anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just keep it in there. But I know those seals, they're like, on the flat tops, they're like the rubber seals. How many times can you use those before you need to get new ones?
So I haven't reached that limit yet.
Oh, okay.
They say they're one-time use only.
Okay.
But I just keep reusing them and they keep sealing.
Okay.
So I don't know what the limit is. I've heard at like some homesteading conference kind of places I've been, they kind of wink, wink, nod, nod, said they use them 4 or 5 times just until they don't seal one time and then you throw it away.
Well, yeah, I would assume that would be true. That's interesting. I always try to, I hand wash them and stuff when it's done. But of course, like I said, I'm not sealing them. It's just a convenient way to, I made some bone broth a couple days ago. I wish I would have had it made before I was sick, you guys. That would have been good. But I was totally out of bone broth and then I got sick, like horrible timing. So as soon as I had enough energy, I had all my bones, in the freezer and I threw a batch in there. And anyway, so I got to thinking about those little rubber, seals and wondering, I know my mom, she used to can, jam and jelly and stuff like that. Yeah. And I know for sure she used them more than once, but I never asked her how many times she could get away with.
Right. Well, my grandma canned, my mom canned, but I was an angry little teenager and I did not take the time to ask them anything about canning. So I've just started wanting to learn, and now I have all these friends out here that can, and they're just so confident and like it's super easy. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess I can do it. I'm smart. I can figure this out.
Yeah.
And so I did most of my learning watching YouTube videos.
Okay.
Like that's where I picked all this up.
That is so
equipment one thing at a time and then just started.
Ellie says you have the can do gene. Get it, Cammie? The can do. Good one, Ellie.
Get it.
This is where I miss my powers. This is where I miss my powers of putting this stuff up on the screen. She also says she needs to make some bone broth, that she has a bunch of chicken, lamb, and beef bones. So let us know in the chat if you guys make your own broth. If you're just like mix all the bones together, or if you separate, like you make beef broth and chicken broth, or do you not care and just make multi-type broth? I don't know how, Ellie. How does she grant me the powers? If you remember how to do it, let me know. I think she has the free account too. I'm not sure if she can.
No,
I don't know.
I have
Okay.
the paid, the
Okay.
lower level paid one.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
just don't know how to do stuff yet.
Yeah, I can't do it. Like, I can't star anything. I'm sorry. A lot of good help I am. I mean, I'm here talking to you and I'm having
You
fun.
are here talking to me. Otherwise, this would be very boring.
Yes. That's kind of what I told her, Ellie. There's a way to make me like a moderator, but it wasn't called that. It was called, I couldn't remember what it was called. Whatever. We just wanted to go live, so we did.
You were eager.
She had all of her stuff all set up. So, my question about broth, Cammie, do you make your own broth, and how do you do that? Do you can it like that? Do you like pressure seal it, or do you just freeze it like I do?
So I have canned the broth. The thing that happens when you can it is it destroys the collagen, so it doesn't stay jiggly.
Okay.
And the jiggly is part of the benefit.
Yes.
So
100%.
if I have space in the freezer, I prefer to freeze it.
Okay.
But you don't always have space, and sometimes you have so much, you're like, I'll just can it. I'll just can some, right?
Yes.
You got to pick your battles.
Yes. So Nia says she's made beef and chicken broth separately and never lamb. Ellie said, because Ellie said she had some lamb. I wish I liked lamb. I'm not a big lamb enthusiast. Like, I want to like lamb, but I just don't. Yet. We'll say yet. I'll have a growth mindset about it. My broth is usually beef just because I eat a lot of ribeye and I save every bone. And so, occasionally I have chicken. I've had so few chicken bones that there's been a couple batches where I'll just throw I'll have 2 or 3 chicken bones. I'm like, meh, it's not going to mess with it. I'll just chuck them in with the beef ones, but generally my whole bag is full of ribeye bones. So that's usually what I make. And
I would just mix them. If I didn't have tons of one kind, I would happily mix them.
Yeah. I'm not a broth snob, I guess. I mostly drink it it's a good hot salty liquid. I really was wanting some when I was sick. Otherwise, I drink it mostly for the collagen, like you said. It's not like, ooh, I just really am craving some bone broth today. Like, I just, once or twice a week, I'll bring it and have it as part of my lunch at school, just for the collagen and whatever. And then I also feel good because I'm not wasting those bones. I
like it if I've eaten and I feel like I should be full, but I'm not.
Oh, okay.
Then I'll scramble up an egg, heat up some bone broth, and then do like a egg drop soup.
I was going to do that this week and video myself doing it. I haven't done that yet, but that was a video I was going to make this week.
Easy. It's so easy.
Yeah, it's because it sounds really good.
It is, and it's just easy, and then you have like this delicious creamy soup.
Yeah.
It was easy to make.
Sounds wonderful. So Nia says that she's curious about how you use the handheld on the food saver for this.
Okay.
Do you know what that means? I don't have a food saver, so I'm just reading.
When I wash my hands, I can show her.
Okay. Her hands are all porky right now, Nia.
They're very I mean, I could walk around and touch everything in my house, but I think that the YouTube police would freak out.
That's funny.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
so that's 1 pork loin.
Okay. So we're 19 minutes into live, and you've got 1 pork loin totally broken down. Wow.
So that's not very long, and this one's already been half done, so this will be faster.
Cool.
10 more minutes.
So other than so you'll have these on your shelf and they'll last you years, and you'll have them, in case of an emergency or just to eat along the way. So when you open this up, it's just going to be cubes of this pork. How do you think you'll use it? Because eventually, if you don't end up needing it, I'm sure you'll use it so it doesn't go to waste. Maybe next year when you do your carnivore shop no more, you'll be eating some of this pork.
I will, for sure.
How do you just open it, and do you make something out of it? Do you just eat it as it is, or how does that go?
I am so simple. My tastes are so simple. I will literally pour this into a pan full of tallow and fry it.
Okay.
It. Warm it up, and that's it. I'll salt it, and that is it. I am only cooking for myself pretty much because my husband and daughter don't want to do this yet. Yet. Yeah, so my daughter is 11. She's so cute.
She's very cute, you guys. I've seen her.
We talk about eating meat and how it heals people. And today, she said this today. She's like, Mom, I just don't know why. Why doesn't everybody just eat meat? Are they stupid or what?
Pot, meat kettle. Pot, meat kettle.
That's what I pointed out. I'm like, honey, you know that meat is really good for you. Do you eat meat? No. And why not? Because sugar's so good.
But there that doesn't mean sugar might be so good, but that doesn't mean she has to exclude meat, Cammie.
I know. I'm trying. She is just the most sensitive little eater. So yes. I saw your video is out with your son interviewing you. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, you have to watch that one. It is going so well. In fact, after I made that video, he finished cleaning out his closet. I only got half the stack. I'll put it maybe on my community tab soon. But I put a picture of like the garbage bags of stuff coming out of his closet. There were like 3 full garbage bags and I snapped a picture, but it was raining pretty good. And so he didn't take them out. And by morning there were, I think 6 bags, full bags and a box. And I did not take a picture of that. Once it stopped raining, he took them all out there. The trash man had just came and our dumpster, we literally have no room for trash this week. And I am not even mad.
So what was he throwing out? He's just minimizing, just cleaning out?
Just minimizing, right up your alley, minimalist friend of mine.
So is he doing this because he suddenly has more mental capacity?
Yeah. So we would argue and fight his whole life over, if you've watched any of the previous updates I've done about him, was like borderline hoarder. Okay. And I say that with all the love in my heart because he's awesome and I love him to death. But he would never want to get rid of anything. Like you would find old like food, like, cause he would get something at school, like in the wrapper, but it would just be there like 2 years later, he'd have a pile, old toys that were broken, like completely broken that he would never use or touch for any reason, but he couldn't throw it away. Papers, crumpled up schoolwork from 2 years ago. I mean, literal trash. Right. And it would just pile up. So every corner of his room. So his closet all the way to the, like where the clothes should hang on the one side, and then all the way up on the other side, because he didn't hang clothes on that side. Every corner of his room, he might have a path to like walk through there. Just stuff piled up. And when he was younger, I would try to get him to clean it out and, I'll help you. Cause he has ADHD, right? I'll help you. And then he would sit there and kind of not help, and then I don't know. I said, can we throw this away? No. And then, and I would kind of sneak some things to try and throw them away. And the best we could really get done was it would just be reorganized, but nothing would really be gone, and then I would be exhausted because he'd kind of be fighting me the whole time. And so I just stopped doing it. I'm like, whatever, it's his room. As long as his mess doesn't spill out into the rest of the house, whatever, right? It's like not a battle. It's not a hill I want to die on or whatever. And so shortly after he started eating this way, which was in February, the beginning of February, he just one day, like bags of trash started coming out of his room. And he was like, yeah, I'm just cleaning up my room. And I was like, you're not. Like he threw away, I don't remember. He clarified it for me again. I think it was in the teens number of like kitchen size trash bags from his room, from his actual room. And then he got that done. And then just because we're on spring break now, he just decided to like finish off the project and do his closet. So he's literally thrown away probably 20 now bags, kitchen-sized trash bags, full of whatever old. I don't care what was in it. I didn't look because I don't care. I'm like, throw it away. I don't care. I do not care. Throw it all away. I haven't even really looked. I need to go look at his closet. I should have taken a before picture. I don't have any before pictures. The only picture I took was the picture of the trash piled at the back door, and it was like a beautiful sight. So yeah, not only does he have the energy to do it, but I think his brain is clearer because that takes organizational skill, right? And the
and not just organizational skill, but emotional safety.
Yes.
To feel okay with letting go of those things.
Yep. He was not okay with letting them go, even when I was the one doing the organizing, right? Yeah. But I would say clean your room, and it would just be like too overwhelming for him. You know, it's like you'd have to, and even it's true, like even the counselor would say, like, you can't just tell an ADHD kid to clean their room. You have to say, pick up all the Legos and put them in the drawer. And then you have to say, pick up all the Hot Wheels and put them in this drawer. Like you have to literally do it like that, or they can't. It's too many steps.
You know what? I need someone to guide me that same way when I clean.
Yeah. And so I didn't have the patience, and that, you know, that was on me, but that takes a lot of patience to be like, okay, are the Legos, you know, in time and all that on a weekend when I just want to be, you know, relaxing after a hard week at school, right? And so, anyways, I'm really, really proud of him. And that's just one of the positive changes, you know, that we've seen.
So is there anything that eating right doesn't make better?
Not that I can think of. Not that I can think of. Yeah, that, I mean, the only thing that I say I, because I don't know if he is his academic success, his grades. And I'm not that you have to get A's. Like he's legit failing 3 classes right now, you know, and he's a freshman in high school. If he fails 3, he's already taking summer school for 1 class that he failed the first semester. He currently has 3 F's right now. It's not seeming to try, and he just doesn't want to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm hoping he will I just want him to pass. I just want him to pass.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I want. So hopefully, you know, he'll be able to get that and, you know, whip that part into shape too. I understand that not everyone is, you know, academic, but I just want him to get a diploma. You know, that's it.
Well, you want him to be the best him he can be, whatever that is.
And whatever that is, and I don't really care what he's going to do in his future, whatever that is, as long as it's something. And he probably needs a diploma to do that. Yeah. But I'm not that pushy, like, you got to go to college and I'm not that mom, you know. But Nia says that she is totally like that. She has to do steps.
Yeah.
Or she gets so overwhelmed with cleaning, etc.
Yeah.
I often do not take on a big project. I don't have any kind of ADHD, but I don't have the patience to be like, I'm going to clean this for like 8 hours. I do things in little bites or snacks. I've always been like that. So it's
I like to make my husband go into the room with me, and we stand there and I say, okay, what should I do first? What do we want it to look like? Like kind of just analyze it first. And that helps me so much.
That's cool. Yeah, I just do one thing. So like I'm making this, like I'm going to cook this, whatever it is, a ribeye in the air fryer or whatever. And then, Ellie, we'll talk more about that in a minute. Anyway, and then I know I've got however many minutes, right? I've got like 8 minutes or whatever till I have to flip it over. So then for those 8 minutes, I'm going to work on the dishes. I can do dishes for 8 minutes and not feel like, oh, dishes, it's 8 minutes. And so I kind of do things like that. I don't do things in big projects or chunks a lot of the time. Ellie, Zach should totally do IT. I'm sorry, what, Cammie?
I don't intend to go crazy and do way too much, but I always end up.
Do you?
I do.
Yeah, my mom is like, she loves that stuff. And if she comes over, like our kids are old enough, they don't need a babysitter anymore.
Right.
But in the past, we want to go out, she'd come over. We'd come home like a few hours later, like our laundry would be done and folded. Like she just likes it. She doesn't watch TV, so she gets bored.
Yeah.
That's not me. That's not me at all. But my mom is totally like that.
I just turned 50. This might be way too many. These won't even fit in there. I'm doing way too many.
That's okay.
I just turned 50, and I'm finally to the point where I'm like, not angry that I have to do dishes.
Got it. Yeah.
I don't love it, but I can do the dishes and be like, I'm happy to serve my family this way. It's taking me a long time.
Yeah, I'll be honest about the dishes. Both my husband and I work full time. And so if I'm the only one doing dishes, I do still sometimes get a little like, why am I the only one?
Yeah.
But mostly I just do it. It's fine.
Okay, so I can put 9 in the bottom. 6, 7, 8, 9 in the bottom. I think 6 in the top. So I think this is all I can fit in there.
Okay, so tell us what those are. Are they quart-sized jars?
These are regular mouth quart-sized jars, and these are wide mouth.
Okay.
These are just the ones that are on my shelf that are like, I have too many, so I sent my husband to the store to buy this so I can get these out of my cupboard.
Got it. So what's better, the wide mouth or the regular mouth? I mean, you're using both. Is there?
I like the wide mouth because I don't have a dishwasher. So I can put my hand in this one and wash it.
Okay.
I cannot get inside of this to clean it.
So is the glass part safe in a dishwasher? Is that dishwasher? Yeah. Is it dishwasher safe? Because I do have a dishwasher and I'm a little bit lazy, Cammie, as I say a lot. If I can put something in there, I want to do that.
I just don't own one. So I'm going to put a teaspoon of my Redmond's real salt in each quart.
Okay.
If these were the pints, if they were smaller, I'd do half. You do not have to salt. I just like it.
Will you add more salt later when you fry them up or whatever you're going to do with them?
I almost always do. I really love salt.
Me too. I was like, a half a teaspoon did not sound like a lot to me for a whole quart.
It's 1 teaspoon for a quart.
Oh, that's right. A teaspoon for a quart and a half a teaspoon for a pint. Okay. Got it. Ellie wants to know if you can sanitize the jars in the dishwasher. In the dishwasher? I think that's what she meant. Sanitize them in the dishwasher?
Yes. And some people spend a lot of time worrying about that. I do not, because it makes the whole process take about 100 extra years to do.
Okay.
Because I would have to be standing here. I would have to boil all these jars and take them out. You need like 7 people when you have to do that.
Okay.
This is going to be cooking for 90 minutes at 240 degrees.
Yeah.
I can sneeze in this right now and it's going to kill everything.
Okay.
So I just don't worry about it. I don't wash my lids. I don't wash my rings. I just go for it, because if I put all those little details and then spend all the time worrying about it, I'll never do it. I'll never get it done.
Yeah, I would feel the same way. I think I would feel okay if I just washed them and they were clean. I don't think I would want to take all that time.
Yep.
Either.
Yep. And it's cooking a long time, and every single person that I know that cans, they all live and they do it similar. They don't worry about it and they're fine. You know what? I bet that I'm not going to use half of these jars.
Okay. So talk to me about how you're putting that meat in there. I saw you push it down a little bit. Are you trying to get rid of like the space? Are you supposed to like pack it pretty well down in there?
Yeah, I'm going to pack it in here pretty good because it shrinks up as it cooks and it releases liquid. And I can show you some of the other ones that I've already finished. And it looks like I didn't try very hard to fill them. But I did. So I'm just going to shove these in here as much as I can.
Ellie says sanitizing the jars. That was the step that seemed overwhelming to me. Yes, that's how I felt about that too when she said that. That's
I just cut it out. And I've heard other more experienced people say, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, see, I'm like a third of the way through and I've only done 3 jars. So this may not do very many jars.
Okay, so let's figure this out. So how many pounds of pork did you have? You said how big that pork loin was that you had.
I said how much it costs. I didn't say how much it
you said how much per pound and how much it cost. It was probably 10 pounds or so, based on what the numbers, if I'm remembering the numbers correctly.
Yeah. So the bigger one was 10.39 pounds. So the other one was probably 9-ish.
Okay. See, my math was good. Did you see that
Yeah.
math I did, Cammie, based on an hour ago?
You might be a school teacher.
I might, or a carnivore, or both.
Or a carnivore.
Ellie says she's really thankful for this live stream. I'm glad you invited me. This is fun. It's fun being a teacher on spring break because I get to join in with random stuff like this and not have to be like, I'm sorry, I'm driving home from work. I can't.
Lucky timing.
It was very lucky. So I wanted to know how many pounds it was. So it's about 20 pounds of pork, but you didn't have 20 because some of your husband had eaten some, right?
Yeah.
So we could say 15, 18 pounds of pork. Okay. And I just want to know about, I'm looking for a rough estimate. Like with 18 pounds of pork, how many jars is that going to make? How much might be about in each jar?
For my chicken tenders, when I pack them in, it's about 1.75 pounds per jar.
Okay.
But maybe I'm halfway through the pork and I've got 5 jars.
Mm-hmm.
So I might be doing 10 jars.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm terrible at guessing that in advance. That's why I just get all the jars out.
Yeah.
I don't normally put salt in all of them first.
Right. Okay.
I may have lost my head a little bit there.
Well, because you're just doing this live for all of us.
Right. Right. Yes.
Well, this is making me, I don't know, maybe on summer vacation or maybe when I retire from teaching, Cammie, I want to do it, but it's like to get my brain around it. But I know what I just paid for like a can that was, I think about 3/4 of a pound of beef. And it was really clean. It was like beef and salt. I was happy to find it, and like I said, I've been kind of just adding to my pantry, my emergency pantry with stuff I buy because that's where I'm at.
Right.
I was so sorry to miss the stream about this topic with you guys on Thursday. I had a fever of 101.4. So I had a legit, I think I only watched like 15 minutes and then I went to bed. Like that's how tired I was.
Oh, no.
But I tried to hang in with you guys. I just couldn't do it.
It was really fun.
I know. I need to go watch the replay at least because I'm really interested in that topic. And I know some of you guys on that panel were experts for sure. But anyway, my point is I'm trying to remember how much I paid. I should go look, but it was a lot more than what you're paying to do what you're doing right now. I'll tell you that.
And you know what? When I'm done with this, I walk around the house so proud of myself.
Yeah, I bet there's
so accomplished. I'm like, I'll say to my husband multiple times, do you know what I just did today?
That's so awesome. I bet there's a really good sense of accomplishment with that. I can totally see that.
I know that women, we tend to want to feel safe. And this, knowing how to do this, helps me feel safe. Like, I can do this. I can learn this. Even if there's things I don't know how to do, the fact that I figured this out makes me think I can figure other things out. It just makes me feel safe.
Yeah. And I feel like, like I sort of just barely kind of mentioned to my husband the fact that I've been putting some things in the back of the pantry. He didn't tease me about it. He was like, okay, I want to get him on board with some more of these things. For example, I want to add the battery backup to because we have solar panels on our house, but no battery backup. So when the power goes out, we still have a power outage or whatever.
Right.
I'm like, this is dumb because we have the solar panels, but without the battery backup, you're just as dependent on the grid as everybody else. Huh. So that's something that I want to do. Okay, I found it. So
does your bill at least cost less?
Oh yeah, it's super cheap.
Okay, good.
I paid $0 all last year. Every single bill was $0. This year, for whatever reason, after it reset in January, we pay there's a bill that comes every January that happens, and that's a few $100s, a couple hundred to anywhere between $200 and $500. And it's anything that your system doesn't make. But usually I'm still charged, I don't know, between $12 and $14 a month. And for some reason last year that was $0. And then when January hit and we got that bill and I paid it, now starting this year, February, March, and now April, it's been like the $12 to $14 a month. But our electric bill in the summer, because we live where it gets well over 100 degrees on many days, and we have a small house, but like my husband wants to be cool. And so he doesn't care. Like he'll just run the air conditioner, probably colder than I would want it. It basically doesn't turn off. And yeah, our bill was like over $300 easily during the summer or for electricity because of that. So, okay, so this can of beef, it was actually bigger than I thought, 1.75 pounds. Okay, it was just beef. It says, I got to see where I can see the back.
Okay, so 1.75, that's about what I'm at. How many did we end up with? We ended up with 10.
Okay, I'm trying to find the ingredients. Oh, the ingredients are beef and salt, which I was super happy with. I was like, that is sweet and super clean, right? Beef and salt. Okay, but for that 1.75 pounds, it was $10.98.
Yes, mine is much cheaper. So these are going to be like $2 each.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, the only thing is mine is beef, right? And that's pork. Right. So there's a difference there. But even so, I bet if you bought like, could you do the same thing? Like, let's say with a chuck roast or, you know, something like that.
Yeah. And I need to. I'm very cheap. So I have a hard time paying high prices for things. So
yeah.
So what I'm doing now is I'm filling these up. I'm covering with water. You don't have to do this. You can just let the liquid do it. But I like them covered when they're done. So I'm covering them. You want to have 1 inch of head space. And so this little device has...
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
Steps.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I want the water to come up to this bottom one.
Okay.
So you
thank you. I was going to ask you how much space to leave. So 1 inch. Okay.
1 inch. Now this is pretty standard for meat. Is 1 inch, 90 minutes. It's all pretty much the same. So what you saw me do was it's called like bubbling, debubbling. Because I've crammed it in there so tight, there's going to be giant air pockets.
Okay.
So I want the water to fill in all those holes.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to re-pour the water to get it up to where I want it.
Is it dangerous if you don't debubble it? Will it explode? Will it make like a big steam pocket and explode or something?
You know, I probably would have said maybe before, but there's a woman named Ruth Ann Zim. She used to be Mennonite. She cans like crazy. She's on YouTube. She's the bomb. I love her.
Okay.
And she says that she's canned thousands and thousands and thousands of jars in her whole life and never debubbled one single thing. And she didn't die. So I don't know how important it is. I just do it.
So my family, I'm not Mennonite personally, but like my heritage is Mennonite. Like my family moved here. They were fleeing the the female czar of Russia when she tried to conscript them into her military. They fled to Russia from Germany for that very reason. And they promised them at the time, the czar at the time promised them, you come on our land and you grow wheat and we'll never conscript you. Well, a couple of czars later, right? And that whole story changed. Yes. And so that's when they came, you know, here. By here, I mean the United States, not California. But anyway, my point is and now it's like I'm sad that I didn't talk to those older generations. My great grandma was 3 years old when she was on the covered wagon as a Sooner heading into Oklahoma. Like, I'm not kidding.
That's awesome.
She died when I was like 5, but I did get to meet her.
So you didn't ask her anything about canning?
I asked them nothing. Even my own grandma, right? Like, she's a generation down from there, but she used to can stuff too.
Yeah.
And, you know, and then my mom, I'm sure that's how my mom learned. And I feel like it stopped with me, Cammie. How sad is that?
It doesn't have to, though.
It doesn't have to. I'm only 48 and I'm a carnivore. So
right. You're like halfway through your life.
I know. And I need to like hold up my end of like my heritage. I feel that strongly. Like
you can do it.
Ellie says she can imagine her kids and her canning together. She says, I'm getting sentimental. I want to be a domestic traditional housewife so bad.
Yeah, I haven't gotten my daughter to love it, but I will have her put the salt in the jars.
Okay.
She doesn't want to touch meat.
Yes. She
And
doesn't
it
even want to
is,
eat meat. So raw
no,
meat,
she
I can
doesn't eat it.
see.
It is hard to be patient and let your kids do these things that we want done the way we want them done.
Yes.
I gotta get more water. So I'm using my Berkey filtered water.
Oh, talk to us about that, because that's another thing I want to get. Talk to us all about that, will you? The Berkey filter?
Well, I like my Berkey. It helps me a lot, but I think I'm hearing people say bad things about the filters recently.
Okay.
But somebody in a live of the preservative one,
Okay.
said that the Berkey filters have been recalled. So I don't know for sure, but
Right.
I do think having good water is critically important.
So is yours just like a countertop model? Because I just want to get something like that, where
Yeah.
I could have, like, she's going to show us. Woohoo! I'm just having Tammy tour. Is it
right
that metal
there.
thing? Okay. Is it that metal
Yeah.
thing?
That
Okay.
little
Okay.
cylinder guy.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. See, this is like, we remodeled our house, as you guys know. So though, if you follow my channel, you know, like, this office that I'm sitting in was because of 2020, when they sent us all home to learn online. And I was like, well, if this room used to be a living room, or, a family room that nobody, or whatever, nobody sat in it ever, or nobody used it ever. And I thought, well, I can teach, let's do a remodel. And so we redid the kitchen, bathrooms, and I did this office for myself. And now it's great because it's getting a second life as a YouTube, a space for me. And part of that was we actually bought a reverse osmosis system. And by the end of that remodel, I was so burnt out. It wasn't installed. We couldn't figure out we didn't know where to put it. And I think we just ended up getting rid of it. Like, we never put it in. And that was before I was carnivore. So we bought it and then we just got rid of it because it was, how, if you've ever done a remodel, Cammie, So at the end of that remodel, I was like over it. I was done. I wasn't carnivore. I didn't understand the whole, like, importance of all of that stuff. And it was not cheap. No. But at that point, at that moment, I really didn't care. And I didn't keep it because I'm minimalist. It's going to take up space in my garage and it's not installed, so it can go. And we just got rid of it.
Yep.
And now I'm like,
your life when you're ready.
Yeah. Yes. Ellie says she's going to put the kids to bed and she'll be right back.
Okay. Well, she's going to miss the next step, but
okay,
she can watch it again.
Yes.
So these are cold. I've just used cold water. The meat is cold. So if I put this into my canner with hot water, can anybody who knows physics tell me what's going to happen?
It'll explode.
It will explode. We do not know that. So
I'm the science teacher.
I'm going to put cold water in here and then just slowly bring everything up. So that part will take a long time. But what I need to do now is get my rings and my lids on.
Okay.
Well, what I have to do next is clean off the rim so I have a good seal. And so I use vinegar with that in case there's any little bits of fat or grease or meat.
Oh, okay. That's a good tip.
So I pour my vinegar in here, and this way I remember to put the vinegar in the canner, which keeps the hard water from collecting on the sides of the jars.
Oh, okay.
And let's see. I hid my paper towels from myself. So then I just dip it in and I just wipe them off. So there's just steps. You put salt in, you fill the jar, you get it to the right level, you wipe the rim, and then you put your rings and your lids on. And then, like, that's the hard part. And then you're down to the easy part.
Okay. That's not even hard, what you said.
Right. None of these steps are hard individually at all.
Yeah. I feel like I wish I lived close to you and we could have a canning party. Like, how fun would that be? I would come over for a canning party. That would be fun.
Right, because you can get more than one of these on a top. And it's just the sitting and cutting that takes the time.
Yeah, but then when you're canning with a friend, like I would get bored by myself doing this for sure. But like if just invite a couple ladies over and do a little canning party, that would be fun.
Yeah.
Because then you can kind of socialize and you're not
Which
just
is
sitting there
why-
cutting stuff.
Which is why your grandma and all her daughters and your aunts and like they would all get together.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody would come and they would do the work together, and then everybody would go home with their jars.
Yeah.
But it was a social event.
Yeah. Yeah.
Women
100%.
don't do that anymore, but we should.
We totally should. I would enjoy that. I would enjoy that like more than a day of shopping. I don't even like shopping that much anymore. Like I have everything sent to me because I just don't want to go in the stores and deal with that. But a canning part, and I'm not that traditional. Like Ellie's over here wishing she wants to be that traditional mom like that. That's not me. But I would still enjoy a good canning party, and I would do it, and I would like happily buy the meat and join in, and that'd be fun, and it would make it like less intimidating too.
Yeah, so sometimes, I mean, I might at my church at some time like do a canning class, but that's hard too because I feel like most of those people know more than me anyway. And sometimes it's just good to have a reason to get together. So it doesn't matter if I know more than anybody.
Yes.
Okay, so now I'm looking. So this has been used before. Okay. I'm just going to be checking the outside to make sure that when it was taken off, it doesn't have any ridges or anything that would make it not seal.
Okay. Now you said you don't wash those. Is that really what it sounds like? So you put them on, they seal, you pop them off, and you just put them back on the shelf?
They were already washed when I put them away.
Okay. So you wash them after you open a jar.
Yeah.
Okay. So
that this one, I don't like how this one is fitting. It doesn't feel like there's any cushion. So I'm going to throw this one away. I don't trust this one. Mm-hmm. This is the first time this has happened to me. So I just don't think this one will seal. And I don't want to risk it.
It's not worth it. How much do those flats cost? My mom told me the other day those are called flats. So look at me. I'm throwing around my new vocabulary.
They're flats or lids. So I don't know how many were in here. This is just a little bag. So it was probably just a stack like this.
Okay.
This was $4.50.
Okay.
So they're not the cheapest thing in the world,
but
they're not the most expensive either. And I went to, I don't like how this is the new one. I don't like how it fits either, but we'll do it. Okay. So the next thing you're going to do is you're securing your lid. And you just, I don't know. They say to do this one finger tight. What does that mean? I don't know. But you don't want to have to it has to be loose enough that the oxygen can come out of the jar.
Okay. Okay.
The ring keeps the lid from just flying off completely.
Yes.
But you want the oxygen to leave so that it's not being stored with oxygen, which will rot your food.
Got it. Okay.
So
that makes sense. I would not have known.
You can explode your jar. That's bad.
Right.
Too tight is bad, but too loose and it'll come right off.
Okay.
Okay, so now I'm doing the wide mouth. I just need 3. These look good.
How many jars did you end up making, Cammie? 10. Okay. I don't know if you said that.
About 1.75 pounds of meat per jar.
Yeah. That's awesome. 10. Okay.
I think there were only
Hi,
3.
nice to see you. Booby Goats is here. Hi, Booby Goats. Thanks for popping in. We're watching Cammie can some pork loin today, and I'm just here because her hands are messy. So I'm sort of chatting with Cammie and trying to moderate as best I can, even though I have no powers, which is why I didn't pop your hello up on the screen, but I'm acknowledging you. Hello.
Okay, so the next thing I need to do is fill my pressure canner, but let's look at the pressure canner first.
Oh, okay.
So these are the safety devices right here.
Wait, I can't see. Move.
I know.
Okay.
Right here. I don't know what pressure this will blow, but if it gets high enough, this will blow and pressure will come out of it. So if this ever blows, you've done something wrong. But
Okay.
this will blow before you blow up your canner and your house.
Okay.
Steam comes out of here and we put a weighted gauge on here. So when it gets higher than the weight, the pressure releases. So it's only going to get so high. And this tells you what pressure you're at. But so does this because it comes off at 10 pounds, right? It'll start to rattle. So this is what keeps you safe right there.
Okay. Booby Goats is saying canning is scary for me. Yes, it's scary for a lot of us, and Cammie is trying to make it unscary. She is just scary. Yeah, she's telling us all the safety features of everything and how to do it. So it's very interesting, and it doesn't seem hard. But yes, all that pressure stuff you just said seems a little scary.
Yeah, it's just little tasks broken down.
Yes.
And when you're not sure what order to do them in, and you've never done them before, it's like, going somewhere for the first time. It's not hard to drive my car and get out of my car and walk into a place, but I've never done it before, so it's terrifying.
Yes.
So each little detail matters, but once you learn it, it's fine. So you want a certain amount of water, but not too much and not too little, because you don't want it to all boil off. That will wreck your pan.
Okay.
So I'm going to put it in up to about 2 inches up to my knuckle.
Okay. I was wondering how much. Okay. So before you put any jars in, water up to your second knuckle, 2 inches.
But each container is going to be different. So you do need to read your manual and just find out what it is. And once you know, it's easy.
Okay. Okay. I feel like I would put this on my back porch.
Yes, a lot of people do it outside on a propane burner. It's going to moisturize your house. It's going to heat up your house. So some people don't can in the summer.
I don't think I would can in the summer. Okay, good to know.
Okay, so now I'm putting in my jars. And this is easy because nothing is hot. I'm not burning myself.
Right. You said you're just going to heat it up slowly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll probably just have to end, and then I can bring it back on later when they come out. But I mean, this part takes hours.
Yeah, we can't stay on for hours, but tell us what this is going to be. How do you know that it's going to heat up slowly? Like, what's the process for making sure that you kind of heat everything up slowly?
Okay, well, let me load this.
Okay.
So because I bought the tall one, this is the All-American pressure cooker model number 930.
Okay.
Online, you will pay $400 or $500 for this.
Ooh, okay.
I bought it at an Amish dry goods store where they just order it directly from the manufacturer, and they mark it up very little. I paid like $2 something.
Wow, Cammie, that's awesome.
I love living out here.
Every time you talk about something about the Amish, I want to move near you. I want to be your neighbor.
I know.
Because it seems so amazing.
So that means I can stack these. I put 5 on the bottom, and I'm going to put 5 on top.
Oh, okay.
Well, I can do all 10 in one batch. That's a blessing.
Yeah, that is. Because I don't think I would do 2 batches. That's another thing. Like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, and then I'm going to be done. I'm not going to, do one and then do another one. 2
batches is exhausting, especially this late at night. It's 7:30 here. I would be up super late if I had to cook that for 2 hours, let it cool down.
Right.
Yeah, that takes long. But this will be fine. I might be up a little late, but...
Yeah.
So next thing I'm going to do is seal the lid.
Okay.
So maybe I will bring you over here.
Yes, bring us over, because it is hard to see way down there.
Yes.
It's far away. There we go. Okay, that's a good view.
Okay. All right. So you kind of want to make it even. There's an arrow that lines up with a notch over here.
Mm-hmm.
So I can read all the things, so I know it's good. But I kind of want to make sure that like it's not tilting like this. So I'm just lining it up with my fingers. I'm not getting a micrometer out. And then you just do 2 opposite screw clamps at a time.
Okay.
So do you see this? It's just a little wing nut, plastic wing nut on a
Yes.
screw. And I just flip them both up
Flips up. Okay.
and screw them down opposite each other.
And you're doing it like opposing sides. Yeah. I understand that. So that keeps it like even.
Even. Yeah.
It's the pressure of like screwing it on so it comes down straight and even. Okay.
Yep. Yep. Because we don't want any steam to be able to come out here. So everything is really tight. Mm-hmm. Everything is really cold. I have 0 pressure here. Now this is my weight, but I don't put this on until this has steamed for about 10 minutes.
Okay.
That's going to take like 40 something minutes.
Okay. Okay.
At this point. So I'm not turning it on super high. I'm going to turn it on low. Okay. And I'm going to go sit down and watch some TV or something. So
nice. Okay.
How long has this been already?
An hour. But we're right about an hour right now.
Okay. I just canned 10 jars, $45 worth of meat, 10 meals, however you want to count it, in an hour.
Yeah.
The rest of this is cake. I will walk in here like a total of 5 to 10 minutes of effort for the rest of the night. So 1 hour's worth of effort. I got all of that for what, like $2 a jar.
Yeah.
This is totally doable. Is anybody still completely overwhelmed?
I am not overwhelmed. I will say that I am a little nervous still about the pressure, just like with the flipping and the making sure. And you just named a bunch of valves, and I'm like, oh, I will screw it up somehow. I will be the first Mennonite in my family. I'm not Mennonite, you guys, but my predecessors were.
So this little pressure valve, this little gauge, you can set it for 5 pounds, 10 pounds, or 15 pounds. Okay. And it's just whichever way you set it on there.
Okay.
Whichever hole you put it in.
So why do you need the different poundages?
I am so glad you asked. It's due to altitude and how altitude affects pressure. So I think I'm like 900. So I'm really close to 1,000. But if I was over 1,000, I would probably have to do higher pressure.
Okay. So
I just do 10 because of our altitude. Okay. Because that's what everything says to do. And so again, I don't put this on until it'll start steaming. And the reason we want it to steam for 10 minutes before we do is because we want all of just the regular oxygen out. We want everything inside of here to be steam.
Yes. Okay.
So it steams for 10 minutes. I put this on. Yes. And then it's going to come up to pressure. You're just going to see this gauge just go 0 right up to 10. This will start rattling.
Okay.
So just rattle. And then
that's how you know.
You know you're at the right. You're at the right pressure when it starts to rattle.
And then and that's when you start the 90-minute timer.
That's when you start the 90-minute timer. Okay. So this is not going to be done for like 2.5 more hours.
Right.
Then I'm going to come in and just turn it off and walk away. Okay. I have like no hard work left to do. I did it all. You saw me do it all. I'm still alive. I'm totally fine. I am breathing heavy, but it's because I'm talking loud. It's easy. It's so easy.
So it's basically gonna like pressure release. You just leave it like that overnight and then come and take the stuff out the next day. Is that what you do?
Everybody gets their own groove. I leave it until it depressurizes. Once it says 0 here, I'll take the steamer off.
Okay.
With a hot pad because that thing is on fire. Don't touch it. It's hot.
Okay. Yes.
So use a hot pad, but you take that off. It'll let the steam out. And then you kind of open, you unscrew it, let it sit for 10 more minutes. Lift the lid up, let it sit for 10 more minutes. Because if it cools down too fast, all the juice will come rushing out of the jar.
Ooh, okay.
And that's when you end up, what is it called? There's a word that I can't think of right now. But all the juice will come rushing out and it can break your seal. It can make it not seal right.
Yeah, okay. So, okay. So, but if I was lazier, could
You
I
could
just
leave it
let it,
overnight.
just leave it and it would
You
just
could
do
just
that?
leave
And
it
then I could just
overnight.
open, because that's intimidating to me what you just said a little bit. Like, okay, 10 minutes and you can do this, and then 10 more minutes and then you can do
Yeah.
that.
Like everybody
But
finds their groove.
but you could
Everybody
just
has
leave
their
it and then just take it all, and then it would be totally cooled off and fine,
totally
and
pulled
you
off.
could just take it all
Open
out the
everything
next
up.
day.
Yeah.
Okay, that's probably what I would do.
Because
Honestly.
when it seals is as it's cooling off.
Okay.
That's
Yes.
when it like, because there's no oxygen, it starts to cool off. And
Okay.
physics, when things are
Yes.
hot, they expand. And when they're
And
cold,
they
they contract. And so it's contracting, but hopefully no oxygen can come back in. So it just sucks that lid
sucks
down.
it down and seals it down.
Yeah, and all
okay,
the oxygen has been
okay.
squeezed out, right? So
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
nothing
yeah.
in there that will rot. So when you let it, you take it out and you have to let it sit on your counter for 12 hours.
Mm-hmm.
When you take that ring off, if I can pick that jar up and shake it, and that lid will be sealed on there.
Yeah, because
If
it's like
comes
it's been
off,
like from the inside.
Yeah, if it comes off, hold on. Woo. If it comes off, you just put it in your fridge and that's breakfast.
Okay. Yeah, because it's just, you just did it. So
it's just been sitting on the counter. It's fine. I don't worry about that kind of stuff. So
yeah, okay.
And I would just eat that the next day. And hopefully it's not all of them don't seal, because I don't want to eat 10 tomorrow.
Oof, no, you don't. Can you show us one you've done before we sign off? Excellent. She's going to show us one she's done. Hi, Ellie. Welcome back. I hope the kids went to sleep for you. Pixel is entertaining me. This is Pixel, my cat. For those of you that don't know, she's very she's all, because there's something outside that she's watching. I have a window right here to my left, and she's like chirping at something like a bird or a lizard is what she usually sees. And so she's a little bit freaked out right now.
Okay.
Oh, cool. Okay, awesome.
Well, this is another pork loin. See how low it is?
Yes.
I had stuffed that one full as well.
Okay. Okay. And you don't even see like water. Is that, there's not like water up to the top. It's like vacuumed out.
It's a siphoning. That's the word. It siphoned out some of the water.
Okay.
But it's sealed.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm shaking it. I'm holding it by the lid. It's sealed on there. There's no mold on top. I can see grease and other stuff. But yeah, I would pour this out and eat this in a jar. And this one is even lower. And look at that fat cap. There's
whoa, look at that fat cap. Okay.
Fat on that.
Yeah, that looks good. What is the best way to pop the seal without ruining the flat? Okay, I'm full of good questions for you today, Cammie. I bet you're happy you invited me now.
I really am. Good question. So
thanks.
In my house, I'm the only one that's allowed to do it. Okay. And I just use my fingers. And I have really strong fingernails. So I just do it. And they don't bend, and then I can reuse them. If you're not reusing them, just use a can opener. It just bends them and they come right off, and just throw it away.
Yeah, my fingernails, I know, would not. They would not. They're not that strong.
There is a device that I would love to order on Amazon that squeezes like a nutcracker almost with rubber. It squeezes, and it's supposed to take them off without ruining them. But my fingernails work so well. Why spend the $15?
So I might need to buy one of those for myself, because I just don't think my fingernails are going to do it. I definitely have in the past, taken a knife or something. I know it ruins them, but just because I don't do it. I never knew to use a can opener, but just to pop it, get something under there so I can pop it up.
Yeah, I mean, that's all you're doing is you're just trying to break the seal.
Yeah, yeah. Because my mom used to give us like I said, she canned a lot. She used to can mostly jelly. This is obviously way before keto and carnivore. Years and years ago. She hasn't canned for years, but I need to have her watch this, and maybe she will be inspired to can some meat now that she's keto. Maybe she wants to can some stuff.
It's easy. So 90 minutes, 10 pounds of pressure, but you just have to know your altitude. So there are some details, but once you know your details for your area, it's fine.
My mom is for sure higher up. She's probably about 2,500 to 3,000 feet.
Yeah, so she's probably got to do 15 pounds of pressure to get it to go to 240.
Yeah. Okay. And on that pressure gauge, is that what you can go by? Can you look at that on the outside of the thing and realize that you don't have it set high enough?
So there's redundancy. So the
Okay.
meter can be wrong.
Oh,
And you're
okay.
supposed to take it to your local ag department and have them check it. I've never done that. But when it gets to 11, my rocker starts rocking. That
Okay.
tells me that I'm on, that I'm right
Okay.
on, because at 10 pounds of pressure,
Mm-hmm.
it's starting to move. So I
Okay.
know that I'm okay.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Well, thank you so much. I'm so glad that I was like on my phone at the instant that after this, let's exchange phone numbers.
Yes, I should text you.
Because I just for sure, it was random because sometimes emails come in and I don't always see them too because multiple ones will come in and I might miss something. So I'm so glad I was on my phone at the right minute to catch you.
Thank you.
And was able to come on with you today.
Yes. And anybody who joined us, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, everyone. Next time I'll have more superpowers, I promise.
Yes.
We'll get our act together. It won't be so last minute.
I might do beef jerky tomorrow.
Ooh, okay. So I have Lioness Lifestyle tomorrow. So just don't,
Okay.
if I'll do beef jerky with you, if you don't overlap with Lioness Lifestyle.
Okay, we'll talk. Okay, I'm gonna end it. Bye.
Awesome. Bye, everybody.